Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking to y'all about our basic body posture for our marching band technique, as well as our set position, our horns up and down. So real quick, I'm going to have my team demonstrate how it's going to look when we're done teaching y'all. Band, set!
Set!
Alright, first things first, we're going to talk about our 5 points of alignment, which is what we use to calibrate our posture. When we stand at attention, we have our heels and toes touching, and our first point of alignment is going to be our ankles. We're going to stand close together. Right above those, our second point of alignment is going to be our knees. Stack them up directly above your ankles, but don't lock them. Above your knees are going to be your third point, which is your hips. Above your hips, the fourth point is going to be your shoulders. Everything's going to be stacked up and tall. And the last point of alignment is the bone behind your ears, so you elevate your chin slightly to get that perfectly lined up with the rest of the points. Next thing we're going to talk about is going to be our set position. When they call us to attention, this is where we're going to go. So the first step is going to be putting your arms up in front of your face with your right over your left, just like this. This is what we call our brackets. You're going to raise up your arms to the right in front of your eyes, right at eye level, and then tilt your head back just a little bit so you can peek over them. It brings your chin up, opens your chest, and gets to the ear bones as your fifth point of alignment stacked up just right. All right, so when our instructors want us to go to the set position, the vocal they're going to use is band set. So on beat with the tempo they say that, the response is going to be set. So it's going to sound like band set, set. Zach's going to demonstrate that for us really fast. Band set,
Set!
okay. All right, when we go to set, we're going to be starting what we call our horns down position. When we're emulating playing on the field during rehearsal, we're also going to have a horns up position where we're going to practice how we look when we have our horns up and we're playing. So how does that show the difference between the two positions? So, band set.
Set!
So this is what we call horns down. When we go to horns up, we're going to bring our arms together, still have our right over our left, and our elbows are going to make a perfect triangle with our fist in front of our face. And look just like that. So when we transition between the two, it's going to happen in just an instant. Now that's going to work. Zach, you can relax. There's going to be 4 either clicks from a metronome or tweets from a whistle, and on the 5th beat, you're going to switch from horns down to horns up. All right, let's demonstrate that. Band set.
Set! Snap!
3, 4.
Snap, 2, 3, push, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, touch, close, snap.
So now we're going to learn the low mark time, and it looks something like this. Band set.
Set.
Snap.
2, 3, push, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So the first part of this movement, we'll be using a vocal called push. After you're called to set, the vocals will be snap, 2, 3, push. When the vocal command push is said, her left knee will pop forward, and with each following beat, her right and left legs will switch back and forth with their heels touching the ground every beat. Band set. Set. Snap, 2, 3, push, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, touch, close, snap.
The next thing we're going to learn is the high mark time, which looks like this. Band set.
Set! Snap! 2, 3, push, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, push, close, snap!
So like the low mark time, the high mark time is also started by initiating on beat 4, but instead of saying push, we're going to say prep, just like Cameron's about to do. Band set.
Set! Snap! 2, 3, prep!
Notice whenever he does this, his foot, the inside of it, is lined up with his calf, and his toes are pointed towards the ground.
Go.
When moving from beat to beat, we're going to take that same form and switch it from our left foot to our right foot continuously. Okay.
Snap! 2, 3, prep! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, push, close, snap!
When finishing out the high mark time, we're going to end in a low mark push on beat 8, or the last beat of your sequence. And so it will be push, close, snap. A couple tips for this move can be to keep it snappy and to angle your knees inward. Whenever we're doing this, we're going to want to almost have a freeze frame in between each beat, so that is a very snappy motion in between the steps. One way to help yourself keep balance is to angle your knees inward instead of outward. That way you have a very good center of gravity.
Snap, 2, 3, push, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, touch, close, snap.
So the first two parts of our forward marching technique is push and one, and we're gonna have Adam demonstrate that right now. Band set.
Set. Snap, 2, 3, push, 1.
On the push, Adam's going to initiate movement with his right platform, and then on B1, he's going to land with his left heel. Just like that. Continue motion of the forward march. The next thing you'll need to do is roll through your left foot and cross on the upbeats, and then plant your right foot on count 2. To close the forward march, we bring our right foot forward and touch on the platform, say touch, and then we bring our left foot forward, and that's fine, and we finally close. Okay. A few points on this one is that this one doesn't feel like a whole lot of other marching styles. It's a little bit more relaxed. Make sure you're always crossing on the upbeat so we're all staying in time. And then we always have our toes up.
Band set.
Set. Snap, 2, 3, push, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, touch, close, snap.
Set.
Set. Snap, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, touch, close, snap.
Now we're going to talk about backwards marching. Now how this starts is on the fourth beat of the count-in, you're going to relevate up on your toes, like this. And on 1, you're just going to snap back for that first step. Okay. Now the verbals for this are going to sound like this. On the fourth beat, you're going to say up. Now that's your prep to relevate before the first step. When you're closing, you're going to end, say touch, that's your final step. Bring your foot in, and that's close. Now to help you with backwards marching, we're going to talk about cradling the grape. And I want you to picture your grape, hold it in your hands like this. It's nice and plump, right? It's juicy. You want to eat it later. So, but you know, I mean, there's no pockets in these uniforms, so you got to save it. Now, how are you going to save it? You're going to save it by kind of cradling it right here, cradling the grape. Now, you can't be too firm, otherwise you're going to bounce when you're walking, and you'll crush the grape, which means you can't eat it later. But if you're too loose, the grape's going to drop out and get on the pride field. You're not going to want to eat it then, all right? So you got to make sure that you're keeping really firm, no bouncing because that'll interrupt your sound, but you can't be too loose, kind of fall over, lose time. Another thing to keep track of is, if you've been skiing, you know that if you cross your skis, you're gonna die. Now, if you cross your skis when you're backwards marching, that would mean you're kind of drifting all over the place. Now, if you do that, you're gonna run into other people. We don't want that. So, just think about gliding backwards, nice smooth motion on your skis, and you can eat your grape as a reward. Now the backwards march in practice is going to look something like this.
Band set.
Set. Snap, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, touch, close, snap. Now that you've learned all the fundamentals for the marching audition, we're going to tell you how to string it all together. The first thing we need to learn is how to transition from the low mark time to the high mark time and back and forth. In the actual audition, we're going to do these in sets of 4. So 4 low and 4 high. For this, we'll start with 4 counts of the low mark time, just as we did before. But on the 4th count, we'll freeze in the prep position for high mark time. 1, 2, 3, prep. After this, we'll take 4 steps in the high mark time, and the 4th will be a push for more low mark time. 1, 2, 3, push. You can loop these sets of 4 as many times as you need to get the feel for it. We'll have the squad demonstrate how it's going to look in action. Band set!
Set. Snap, 2, 3, push, 1, 2, 3, prep, 1, 2, 3, push, 1, 2, 3, prep, 1, 2, 3, push, 1.
Now that you know how to combine the low mark time and high mark time, it's time to add the next layer, which is that during the high mark time, we're going to rotate 90 degrees to our left. Lauren's going to show you what that looks like. Band set!
Set. 2, 3. Push. 1, 2, 3. Prep, turn. 2, 3. Push.
Some tips for this move is make sure you maintain your good posture for the whole time to keep your form up. In addition to that, make sure you pay attention to the vocals saying push or prep so you know whether you're going into a low or high mark time for the next section. On top of that, the last thing is making sure you pace yourself so you're turning evenly for all 4 counts. On count 2, you should be at a 45-degree angle, so then on count 4, you can be at the full 90. So in the actual audition, we're gonna do that sequence of 4 low and 4 high mark time with the turn, a total of 4 times. So we'll turn in at 360 degrees. The squad's gonna show you what that looks like. And set,
Set.
snap, 2, 3, push, 1, 2, 3, prep, turn, 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 2, 3, push, close.
Snap, 2, 3. Prep, 1, 2, 3. Together. Mark. 2. Close. Snap.
Now the chair step comes after the full 360. You'll take 4 normally sized strides forward, but in half time. So how the chair step works is you're gonna start in a high mark time prep, and then just let your leg go. And an easy way to do that is to feel this little tendon here on the back of your knee, and just let it release from the high mark time prep. Now for the chair step, all you're gonna wanna do is drop it straight down and pick up your other leg. Now an important thing to remember is not to step forward, but just from that relaxed high prep, just put it down, pick your other leg up real snappy. Now you may have noticed that at the end, she kept going in halftime, did 2 mark times, and then closed. The vocals for this are mark, 2, close. Now at the end of the chair step during an audition, you're gonna hold 4 counts in normal time, and then take 8 to 5 steps forward. Some final little tips to help you get this process going right. If you take just a normal 8 to 5 step, and visualize where that is, that's how far you should be during the chair step. Don't overreach it, don't underreach it. Another thing to remember is that you keep it snappy, just like the high mark time and the low mark time.
So this is what your full pre-band audition will look like put together. Band set.
Set! Snap, 2, 3, push, 1, 2, 3, prep, turn, 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 2, 3, prep, 1, 2, 3, together, mark, 2, close, 2, 3, push, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, close, snap.